Most men who get rejected are actually the nicest guys in the room. They text back immediately. They never cancel plans. They remember every little detail she mentioned. They are considerate, available, and completely devoted. And yet, she chose someone else, someone who treated her worse. If you have ever been that guy, what you are about to hear will explain exactly why, and more importantly, what to do instead. Welcome back. In today's episode, we are covering the foundational topic of this entire series: why being a nice guy in dating actually works against you. This is not about becoming cold, rude, or playing games. This is about understanding the real psychology behind attraction and why most men have it completely backwards. If you have ever been friend-zoned by a woman you genuinely cared about, if you have ever done everything right and still lost, if you have ever wondered why confidence seems to matter more than kindness, this episode is for you. By the end, you will understand why nice guy behavior repels women, what is really driving it beneath the surface, and what shift in approach actually works. Let us get into it. The nice guy pattern. Picture this. A man meets a woman he is really interested in. She is smart, attractive, and they seem to click. He gets her number. From that moment, he becomes very attentive. He texts every morning. He responds within seconds to every message. He reshuffles his entire schedule whenever she is free. He buys her thoughtful gifts. He never says anything she might disagree with. He is completely available, completely supportive, completely devoted. And then, she starts pulling away. Her replies get shorter. She cancels plans. Eventually, she says those words, "You are such a great person, but I do not feel that connection." He is baffled. He did everything right. What went wrong? What is actually happening? Here is the psychology. Underneath all that niceness is not pure generosity. Underneath, it is fear. Fear of losing her. Fear of not being enough. Fear of rejection. Every act of kindness is really an unconscious attempt to make himself safe. If he is nice enough, available enough, agreeable enough, she cannot reject him, right? But here is what she actually experiences. She does not feel cared for. She feels pressured. All that constant attention, that total availability, it communicates something she reads instantly at an emotional level. It says, she is the most important thing in his world, and he is terrified of losing her. And that energy, that desperate searching energy, makes her feel uncomfortable rather than drawn in. Women are extremely perceptive to emotional undercurrents. She may not be able to name what she senses, but she feels it, and it pushes her away. The pedestal problem? There is a second layer to this. The nice guy makes a critical mistake the moment he meets her. He places her on a pedestal. Before she has said 10 sentences, before he knows anything real about her character, he has already decided she is his dream woman. He has built an entire relationship in his head, and from that moment, everything he does is filtered through the question, will this make her like me? He stops being himself. He starts performing a version of himself he thinks she wants. His real opinions disappear. His boundaries dissolve. He agrees with everything. He becomes, ironically, the least interesting person in her life. And that is what pushes her away. Not his kindness, his lack of self. The principle that changes everything. Here is the shift that changes everything. Attraction is not about what you give. It is about who you are when you are not trying. Most men approach attractive women from a position of deficit. They feel like they need to earn her interest, prove their worth, convince her that they are a good choice. So they perform. They overinvest. They exhaust themselves trying to close a gap that was never really there. But think about it from her perspective for a moment. An attractive woman has men pursuing her constantly. Every day, multiple men are texting her, offering to do things for her, showing her how much they like her. If every man treats her like a rare treasure to be won, the man who stands out is the one who does not. Not because he ignores her, not because he is cold, but because he has a genuine, settled sense of his own value that does not depend on whether she approves of him. You are the prize. Here is a reframe that sounds simple, but is actually profound. You are not trying to win her over. You are evaluating whether she is right for you. Think about hiring for an important position in a company. You would never give someone the role just because their resume looks promising. You would run them through a process. Ask real questions. See how they handle pressure. They would have to earn the position. She is applying for a position in your life too. Your time, your energy, your emotional investment, these are valuable. She needs to show, through her character and her effort, that she is worth them. This is not arrogance. It is self-respect. And self-respect is magnetic. When you approach her from this position, something shifts in the dynamic. You stop performing and start being genuine. You ask real questions instead of just trying to impress. You disagree occasionally because you actually have opinions. You are willing to walk away because you genuinely believe your time matters. And she can feel all of this, not from anything you say, from how you carry yourself. The emotional leader. There is one more piece here that the research consistently surfaces. Attraction is largely driven by emotional state. Women are drawn to men who create positive emotional experiences, who are energized by their own life, who have something going on. The nice guy, ironically, is often emotionally flat. He is agreeable, predictable. There is no challenge, no edge, nothing to push against. Being with him feels safe, but not exciting. The man who attracts her is not necessarily bolder or louder. He is simply more connected to himself. He has opinions, he has energy, he has a direction. And that genuine engagement with life is what makes her want to be near him. Step 1. Build a life that does not need her. This is the foundation. The desperation that drives nice guy behavior comes from one source: making romantic success the primary measure of self-worth. Fix this first. Invest seriously in your work, your fitness, your friendships, your interests. Not as a strategy to attract women, but because a full life is the right goal regardless. When your life genuinely has momentum, the anxious searching energy disappears on its own. You stop projecting it because you no longer feel it. Step 2. Stop convincing. Start filtering. The next time you meet a woman you are interested in, shift your internal question. Instead of asking, "How do I get her to like me?" ask, "Is this someone I genuinely want in my life?" Ask her real questions. Find out what she actually values. Disagree with her when you genuinely see things differently. Pay attention to whether she shows effort in return. This shift changes the entire texture of the interaction. You stop performing and start being real. She can feel the difference immediately. Step 3. Let the conversation breathe. If she does not reply for a few hours, do not follow up. Do not check in. Do not explain yourself. Live your life and reply when you get to it. This is not a game. It is a natural result of actually having things to do. A man with genuine momentum in his life is less constantly available, and that natural unavailability creates real curiosity. Step 4. Hold your standards. When she suggests something that does not work for you, say so. When she cancels plans without much reason, do not immediately reschedule at her convenience. have standards, and be willing to hold them. Nothing communicates self-respect faster than a genuine, comfortable boundary. The nice guy fears that saying no will push her away. In reality, a man without any standards signals that he has no identity. That is what actually pushes her away. Step 5. Be genuinely willing to walk away. The most powerful position in any dynamic is the real willingness to exit something that is not working. Not as a tactic, not as a test, because you genuinely believe your time and energy are worth protecting. When she senses this, not from anything you announce, but from the way you carry yourself, the dynamic shifts. She stops taking you for granted. She starts putting in effort. If this resonated with you, the full breakdown, with specific examples, dialogue, and exercises, is in the ebook linked in the description. Subscribe if you want weekly episodes on confidence, attraction, and becoming the kind of man who does not need to chase. And drop a comment. Which of these patterns do you recognize in yourself? Nice guy behavior, the pedestal problem, or chasing too hard? I read every one. Next week, we are going deeper on the topic that came up all through today's episode: desperation. Why does wanting someone too much guarantee you will push them away? And more importantly, how do you break that pattern from the inside out? See you then.